Right, guys, here's the deal. I've worked with actually 50 plus clinics now. We have 5 clinics of our own. I run a 7-figure practice myself. We have a team of close to 20 people. There are some patterns, there are some lessons that I believe all of us can learn from. And these are, by the way, lessons I'm writing down as I'm consulting for these companies because I'm realizing that human psychology is the same. Lessons 3, lesson 7 might not surprise you, but some of the lessons will be a shock. So let's get to it, and I'll try to make it as interactive as possible. Apologies in advance if you are watching this on YouTube instead of just listening to the podcast. But this is what I discovered after working with these 50 clinics. 7 lessons that I believe they're ugly. Lesson number 1. This is important. This one hits hard when you understand what I mean by choose your hard. What does that mean? Choose your hard. There is a point in business where having a solo practitioner is hard. There is a point in business when you scale, when you have a team. I'm sure some of you watching this are struggling with associates, they're struggling to have a good standard. It's also hard. It's hard to work all the time. It's hard not to work. It's hard to not have money to pay the bills. It's hard when you start making money. Like, everyone wants a bit of attention in my time, and I'm spread across 20 different things. So what do I do? So I think this is one of the biggest lessons that we can actually learn from is just understanding that there are certain principles, such as life works for me, not against me. As a clinic owner, I need to understand that every single clinic that I've worked with and working with actually experiences 4 or 5 major problems that is just human nature. So my question to you is, when you show up to work on Monday and you're in the car and you're just about to open the clinic, are you like excited that you're going to be faced with opportunities that you can work towards and make better? Or you call them mistakes, or you think the weather is bad, or you think you're stuck in traffic, you're going to be like upset about the first patient. Choose your hard. Nothing in life is easy, but a lot of the way you frame stuff will help you to go through. Because in business, this is what happens. People think, I opened the clinic here. Let's say this is 10 years later down the line. This is level of success and happiness. And people think it's like, yeah, I'm just going to keep growing. And this is typically like, maybe like month 1 to month 3. If you work with us, we just literally give you the playbook, how to get from 0 to 20K in about 90 days. It's repeatable. It's not easy, but it's a simple concept. And we've repeated it with quite a few clients now. But this is where people start to enter this like mountain of stupid, they call it. Because what happens is you don't really know what you don't know around here. And people don't understand that actually a lot of this, I haven't even experienced what it's like to hire my first CA, to have my first associate, to have the first patient complain, to have, I don't know, something happens to the building and a 10K bill has to be paid. So what happens is you are going to get these dips, and then you're going to learn from them. And then when you learn, you might feel like nothing is happening, but you're actually building the next peak. And then it's going to drop again. And then here, you might go even further down. It's plateauing. You're not learning that lesson. It hits you hard. Oh, all of a sudden, I joined a mastermind. I realized, that my perception, my belief was the biggest limiting belief. Oh, I go to the new height. And what happens is, when you zoom in after a period of 10 years, the trajectory is this. It's going up and up and up. But the ups and the lows are so real. So you just knowing the fact that this is a pattern will help you dramatically to overcome challenges in your practice. Some of these lessons I want to discuss today are quite tactical. Some of them are very theoretical and very like mindset related, and both are equally important for any type of success, however you just define success for you. So that's lesson number 1. This is one thing actually we're working on right now inside the Practice Peak network is, and for those of you who are new to the channel, Practice Peak is a private network of clinic owners, and we meet once a week. We have coaching. We do therapy sometimes about like what's not going on in the business. We give them the playbooks of the best things that are taking place in the industry right now. What's working for us? How did I build a 7-figure practice? How did I remove myself from the business? How, if you have a single doc practice, you can also make it work. But the point is, and please take this seriously. When you understand that there are certain lessons, certain patterns that are applicable to every single clinic owner, you're not special, by the way. I'm not special. We're all human, and we're dealing with people. We're in a service-based business. So these lessons for me are so important to share, and I wish someone shared that with me. But what I was saying is, in the one of my latest challenges with the coaching business is how do I get people that join us? We call it breaking the frame, just to break the frame of knowing what's possible. Because a lot of people in the UK, especially, this is where we coach mainly, is they think that just running an okay practice is okay. But actually, the patient is the one who suffers because you end up having average clinic with average results. And I told this in the in-person mastermind we just hosted. The same effort applied with different systems and different leverage can have completely different outcome. So actually, I don't work any harder than someone who makes 10, 15,000 pounds a month. But the way we think about the stuff we produce, the quality of the effort completely outweighs someone who still works very, 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 very hard, but on the wrong stuff and potentially sometimes with the wrong people. So really important to understand that there's nothing easy. Everything is going to be hard. The grass is always greener, but the grass is green where you water it. So lesson number 1. Lesson number 2. This is actually something I wrote about. We made a video about this. I believe it's episode number 77. In depth. Know your archetype. What does that mean? Well, after working with a lot of clinics, I've identified 2 types of... Think of this as like the DNA of your business. We'll write down this here, DNA. What does that mean? I am wired for change, personally. I'm wired for moving fast. I'm wired for, I cannot stand still. I know myself. I go on holiday, my lovely wife can be sitting there and just reading a book or absorbing the sun for 6 hours. In that time, I've probably gone for a run, I've gone scuba diving, I've come back, I've done some surfing, I've hurt myself, I've fixed my injury, I had a lunch, read a bit of a book, sent 10 emails. I've got to keep moving. That's just me. So for me to have a solo doc practice, personally, I can't think of anything worse. I actually rather work for someone in a big team that I'm excited about, people and meeting them and chatting. That's not to say that you are me. So understanding the different archetypes that we've identified will help you understand how to set up your business model. So not only you're successful, but you are happy. You're happy because ultimately the biggest failure I see is people set up the wrong business, but they have some money in the bank. Who cares? Life is short. So archetype, again, I encourage you to go and what I believe, or we'll talk about this in a minute, but I believe it's episode number 77, where we go deep into archetype type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is, maybe I should do this like as a copyright, because I'm not sure if someone else has come up with this, but they better not copy me. The reason why I say that is this. Type 1 is your lifestyle practice. This is your one doc. I want to set up my own hours. I want to optimize for freedom, maybe a bit of cash flow practice. This is where I don't really need to scale. I need to build a team. I can make it very profitable. I rely on myself. So I've just created a very, very, very well paid, a very nice job. But remember, choose your heart. Don't complain that you have to find a locum. Don't complain that you can't take time off the clinic. Don't complain that it's not scalable. Don't complain that everything relies on you, because you chose to build that archetype. Archetype number 2 is your empire. This is your empire enterprise. This is where we're building systems from the ground up. From day one, I wanted this. Again, it's not right. It's not wrong. It is what it is. This is a spectrum. You can be optimized into this part of the spectrum, this part. You might be bang on in the middle, which is actually quite difficult because you don't know, like, do I want this? Do I want this? But go and watch the video, because what I realized is those owners that decided to be very intentional of how to build their practice because they knew there was a lifestyle practice or there was an empire enterprise, they were very intentional with the design. Therefore, the outcome was exactly what they wanted. Instead of my DNA being down here, but I'm building a lifestyle practice, it's not going to make me happy, even if it's good for cash flow. If I'm building a lifestyle practice, but my DNA is, hey, I do want to try this exit thing one day, or I do want to build 12 clinics, I'm doing the wrong thing the wrong way, so it's going to feel very, very hard. It's going to be everything I do is against my DNA and the outcome that that's producing. Lesson number 2, know your archetype. Lesson number 3, I learned this from a great gentleman, Benjamin. Ben, if you're listening, shout out to Ben. An amazing, amazing influence in our Practice Speak community. This is actually one of the biggest reasons why I decided to build a network of like-minded individuals, highly vetted, by the way, for this reason. Because when we teach, we also learn from these guys. Some of them have heaps of experience. Some of them have multiple clinics. Some of them have like one clinic with 3 CAs fully optimized with AI. You know, how cool would that be if you're part of that? If you're watching, I'm winking. Come and join us. Anyways, lesson number 3. This hits people hard when you, and I've always had this belief, some people don't. It's easier to make, what does that mean? Let me explain. It's easier to make £5,000 than save £1,000. There are so many clinic owners that worry about £500, £1,000 investment a month on something that can take their practice from 10 to 30k a month in like 6 months. We do that, by the way. What they're not focusing on is, what am I missing by not knowing how to make £50,000 a month practice? The number actually doesn't matter. I'm just putting that just as an example. What is it costing me not knowing how to get to this? Well, arguably, this is what's costing you every single month. Alex Ramosi talks about this. What is it costing you not to have a million, not to know how to make a million, not to have the skill set, not to have the thinking, the capability? It's costing you that much. It's a simple game. The game has rules. Learn the rules. The rules follow income. They follow impact. They follow happiness. They follow freedom. They follow whatever you want it to follow. But so many people focus on this thing, which is, oh, no, I can't spend this because it's costing me £7. Oh, no, we have to reduce the cost per, I don't know, cups we spend on coffee because we can get 10p here. Actually, what we could be doing is saying, what if I upgrade my thinking and I start thinking differently about this marketing thing and I actually understand how much does it cost me to acquire a client? It's called CAC, cost to acquire a client. What's my lifetime value? Oh, hang on. So per client, I get like £300. Stefan's clinic makes 4 times that per client. Does Stefan really care about saving £1,000, or does he care about, I'm going to make double the money that we make because I understand my metrics of marketing, because I've invested a lot of time to learn about it? That's the level of detail that we're missing. And I truly believe that sometimes like life tests us. And my personal story, the first thing I learned was how to be hopefully a great clinician. And that wasn't just the adjusting, that was the communication, understanding people, understanding psychology, understanding myself. Then I was like, oh, hang on, I can teach this. And we started to be involved with the team training and the hiring process of the company I worked with, and still mentor. And back in the days, my boss would challenge me and I would feel uncomfortable. And anyways, this progression was to the point now where we teach clinics how to build their clinic and their life. And it's made me realize that we need to raise the bar internally, like how we show up, but also to our clients by the way we design our practice. So it's kind of like important to take some level of responsibility. And without sounding like a lecturer, one of the lessons that I'm learning from teaching clinics, a lot of people focus on this. How do I save this? How do I not spend? As opposed to, how do I level up? There's a much bigger game to play. We have one of the best products in the world, chiropractic. Even if you're in manual therapy, physiotherapy, osteo, it's the same thing. We're trying to prevent people from having surgery, having medication, optimizing their health, living a life that they didn't even know was possible. And we're shy about it, and we don't do it well enough. Whose fault is that? It's us. It's our fault. Don't blame the public. Don't blame the economy. So go and build, this one of my mentors says this, go and build your practice. That means that go and set the bar high and do the work required you to get to that level, because your patients deserve it. So lesson number 3, it's easier to make £5,000 than to save £1,000. Hope you guys are enjoying this, by the way. If you are, let me know what other videos we can make to truly help you build yourself. We call it like pursuing the peak. I don't know if you want to be top 1% of clinics. If you do, amazing, we'll help you with that. But if you want to have like an incredible life, don't reinvent the wheel. And I'll show you why in a minute. Lesson number 4, nothing is new. Success leaves patterns. This is exactly what we're doing right now. I'm showing you patterns that I'm seeing that clinics make mistakes on. Don't follow those patterns. There are things that in life are proven to work. Example, back in the days when, this is going to be really embarrassing, but when they used to have horses, this is a horse, when they used to have the horses and people would go, oh, this is horrendous, by the way. I hope you are watching. No, you can never have a metal box that is better than my horse. You can't. I've had the horse for 10 years. It does the work. It's fast. It gets me from point A to B. And all of a sudden, someone just says, oh, actually, there is something that, there we go, something that gets me from point A to point B faster. It's a vehicle of transportation. It was a means to, it had a purpose. Now, if I'm in 2026 and someone says to me, hey, for me to go from here to Edinburgh, would I choose this this or an airplane? I would choose what's proven to be the most successful in completing that job, which is, of course, an airplane. So when you set up your practice, when you're building your practice, you have to understand there's certain vehicles, but none of them are new. These are just recycled methods, and some of them are just more effective, some of them are better. So copy what success tells you. Success tells me that there's certain, and again, we talk about this in our YouTube channel, there's certain models, certain strategies in business that are just better for the client, better for the team, better for the for you, for the founder. So why reinvent the wheel from scratch every single time you think about building a KPI tracker, building a report system? We have this Practice Pulse. We literally build a tool for, this is more for private clients to be fair, to tap in their details of their clinic stats for the previous week. It works out where you're lacking, what's the pulse of the clinic, and it tells you, it gives you 3 practical suggestions for this week or for this month. Writing newsletters. We've got literally a custom bot that writes the letters for you, the newsletters for you. You copy it, you send it to the email that you should be doing on a weekly or on a monthly basis. And voila, instead of spending 2 hours a week, you spend 2 minutes. These are vehicles that are proven to work. So don't try to reinvent and start from scratch. Model what's working, because success leaves patterns. That's lesson number 4. Let's go to the next lesson. We're going to choose a different color. Lesson number 5. Biggest and most difficult, and probably the most complicated, one of the most commonly seen problems, therefore I've written it as a lesson in chiropractic, is we try to make things super complicated without knowing. Because, by the way, I believe founders, business owners, clinic owners have the best intention. We always want to help the patient. But in that process, along the way, we create so much complexity. And one thing we know in business and in life in general, complex fails, simple scales. What does that look like in your practice? Where do you have to look into the systems? So I told this, it was literally last night, our network of people that work with us, we had 15, 20 people on the call, and we were saying how if you can break down your business, we call them workflows now, instead of like people, because of AI and things that we teach are pretty, like, I think significant in how businesses will change. But let's call these workflows versus, let's say, what a CA does and the CA role. What a workflow is? Well, the workflow might be, one of them might be onboarding. The next one might be welcome email. The next one might be checking person in. The next one might be sending an SMS reminder about their appointment. The next one might be sending them a video on education on how day 2 should be, how the body works. The next one might be bringing a partner in for day 2. The next one might be booking their full schedule for the next 12 weeks, and so on. So this is the workflow of, let's call it an onboarding process. Sounds complicated, right? But actually, how can you break down your business, your entire business model, to its most simple, step by step, to give you the outcome that you're looking for, which is, I guess, a happy patient that has had great results, and then can refer more happy patients because the model is scalable and is replicable. If I go into a company, sometimes they can have 200 things happening, all done by human, by the way, all complicated. Whether it's actually, what I can do is I can simplify these 12 things that are doing here with one thing, one domino. And that one thing might equal to 1,000% increase in output. So what we want is, we want simple, because simple scales. And for me, if I break down my business, it's literally, can I get enough eyeballs? So this is getting traffic to my product that I'm offering. Number 1. Number 2 is, can I have an amazing experience on day 1 and day 2, so the patient understands, they actually pay us, because that's the biggest form of, yeah, that makes sense. I trust you. You guys seem good. You found what's wrong with me. You told me how you can help me. You know what the problem is. You've explained how long it's going to take. You seem professional. You seem to care. Let's go for it. That's the biggest form of you did a good job. Someone paid you money. And number 3 is producing the results to actually keep people happy, healthy, and for them to keep coming back because they understand chiropractic is part of my lifestyle. That's my whole business. Get attention, which is traffic, get people to start care, and get them to stay, which is your attention. That's it. Lesson number 5, complex fails, simple scales. Lesson number 6. This one, I probably bored people from this, but mental models. If you haven't studied mental models, if you haven't got books like this, The Great Mental Models, a series of books, if you haven't studied the work of Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett, or anyone actually who is achieved something great in life, everything originates from them having a map of the world. Let's imagine this is the world, and this is what the world looks like. And mental models is, what is your map? How do you see success? Imagine this is a map. How do you see success? What does that look like? Because there could be one event, and let's say the event is, I don't know, I'm late as a husband, getting back to work. My wife's map could be, he doesn't care about the family, he cares more about work. That's her interpretation of the world, of the map. My interpretation was, I was trying to leave early to buy her flowers to show her how much I appreciate what she does, but because I left early, I got stuck in the school runs traffic, so I'm actually running late. The same situation, Stefan is not on time, have two completely different interpretations. So mental models really matter, and this is one lesson that I learned the hard way, and I wish someone introduced me to these much earlier on in my career, because I would have been able to make much more effective decisions about my practice, about my success, about my goals, about my family, about my health, about my business, about the impact we're trying to make. You have to learn about mental models. It's a big thing that I talk about a lot in our private group community, because I'm understanding that in order for people to level up their practices, they need to level up themselves first. And finally, definitely not last, this is more of a practical one, and we can talk about this, and I'll give you the exact video to go and watch now. It's episode 70. I doubled my practice using this membership matrix model. It talks about retention over acquisition. Do not get me wrong. We have over 100 new patients a month, every single month, just in my practice alone. So when we talk about marketing funnels, we really care about top of funnel. We do. We care about how many new patients are introduced to our business. But if that funnel is leaking from every single step along the journey, your PVA will suck. And you'll be really stressed out, and you'll come and say to me, I'm an ethical chiropractor. I care about evidence-based outcomes, but I can't pay the bills. I need more new patients. The answer very often is not, let's get you more new patients. The answer is, how do we patch the leakiness of that funnel? So you have 10 people come in here, and maybe 7 make it to week number 12, where they're super happy. These people also got better, but they just, for whatever reason, it wasn't sticky. And this is really, really tactical. This is the kind of stuff that we do all the time for clinics. In fact, one of the things that I would offer you guys, if you still made it till the end of this video, is we have, it's not many, it's 5 slots per month where we can assess clinics. We can do a strategic discovery session where I can understand the concept of their clinic. What's your business model like? What are your numbers like? What does success look like for you? Maybe put a little strategy in place. Best case scenarios, you come and work for us, you make a ton of money, you have a lot of fun along the way, you have support with other team members and other professionals, whilst having an amazing impact with your patients on more consistent basis. Worst case scenarios, you say, Stefan, you're crazy, but I really like these suggestions. Thank you very much. I'm going to go away and apply this myself. And we've both gained something from it. So there will be a link in the description somewhere below to book a call with me. If you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. I still keep making these videos because we're here on the big mission, and that is to raise the bar in the profession so that more patients experience what is it like to have quality support along the way, someone to change my behavior and my belief about my health. So when I'm in my 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s and 80s, I don't have to worry about hospital appointments. I can enjoy surfing. I can go with the grandkids on holidays. I can live a healthy and happy life. But guys, go and watch that video if you want to learn